Pittsburgh Steelers fans, thanks for tapping in to another Wednesday night episode of the Pump Your Brakes podcast, preluded by Smash the Gases, dropped off Big G and Curb, picking up the triple OG in the building, swung around from Ohio, dropped G off northwest, dropped Curb off northeast, and came on down 76 and scooping up the triple OG Shannon in the building down somewhere in West Virginia. What's up, Shannon? What's good, man?
Yeah, you have to come on down 77 and hit southern West Virginia, right on the Virginia border to get me.
So 76 to 77, I'd go towards because I go 76 towards DC. I would go the other way. Is what's going that way?
You go down past Fairmont and all down through there.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know that. But then where I would get on 76 to go to 70, I would not go on 70. I would go to 77, which takes you where? Like right before you get to Hagerstown. What is that where 77 is at?
I can't remember.
Okay.
But yeah, you'd be coming the right way that way. You're kind of just going straight south.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, what's up with you, man?
Well, just looking at some of the different reports that came out today, and interested to talk about all that as far as the predicted over-under for the Steelers wins next year. And they rated both tackle positions, offensive left and right tackle, and look at where the Steelers fared in that last year. And it's interesting, and it goes well with what our discussion topic is tonight: the big boys, the round bellies.
The round belly. There's none rounder than Y.A. Black. He shows that thing off.
He does. He's proud of it.
Hey, man, I always show mine off too, man. When I go to the pool or the beach or something, it's out there. I just know jokers that try and wear little tank tops and T-shirts. Nah, my thing out there. Laughing.
YA likes that little cutoff where the belly actually shows under the jersey. Yeah, he likes that. Yeah.
The crop top.
Exactly.
Like Zeke Elliott used to wear.
Exactly. Yeah, but he didn't have no he wasn't the round belly. He was the rip belly. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, man. So real quick before we go to our first break, what's some of this talk? What's some of the talk you talking about?
Well, I noticed that the over under, they have the Steelers at 8.5 wins for next year.
Well, that's about where they are every year because they don't know if we're gonna have a winning season or a losing season.
Yeah, they always keep it right in that line. But this is the first time. I think every time it's been around 9. This time they dropped it down a half game. I guess because you don't know. I mean, the whole new coaching staff and we don't know at this point. The additions that they're going to make. So I'm excited about it. I'm very excited about tonight's subject matter.
Yeah, man, because it's a critical part of the team. Shout out Christine Black and Gold. I feel special. I get to be her boo tonight, Shannon. She said, "What's up to you too?" She just left us on Pump Your Brakes. She's a dedicated member of the nation. We certainly appreciate everybody.
Yes, amen.
About the big bellies tonight, the round bellies.
Yes.
Let's see real quick. We got 901. My boy Reg in the building. TD, what up? Mark Cunningham, what's happening, man? Mr. Woodside. Of course, we already got Christine in the building. Craig Werlow. Robert, what's good? Mark Malone. What you say last show, Mark? You got put in the Matrix by Big G. What did you say, man? I forgot. You said something diabolical, though, right? Mean Green in the building. Hey, shout out to everybody that's with us right now.
Yep.
So the over-under is 8.5. You said, did you say they rated the tackles? We can open with that. You can tell me about that because we're going to talk about the line. What we are going to do is take our first break real quick. You watching on YouTube? Oh, he said no C.J. Stroud. Because there's rumor out there that they might trade C.J. Stroud, Shannon.
Well, supposedly he's on the block.
Yeah.
That they would consider moving him. I mean, he had a really, really bad postseason game there, when they got knocked out. But again, one game does not a career make. Look at Sam Darnold. So,
too.
Yeah. So I mean, I think he has value. Again, it would depend on cost and what you'd have to give up to get him. But it's something that he's proven that he's NFL caliber. So they just have to decide the fit and can they develop it. I mean, I think they got a staff at this point that can develop and hopefully develop other offensive positions. And, you get the weapons and you have the culture and you have the defense, that could be good.
No, I agree with you. I mean, again, I said I can't pass up the talent. First round quarterback. You know what been trying to do for the last 8 years? Win a playoff game. You know what CJ Stroud has done his first 3 years? Win a playoff game. Yeah. I mean, and now this year I agree, he had a bad playoffs, really bad playoffs. I know the offensive line was really weak, not trending the trajectory of their O-line and ours is not the same. No, it's not the same.
Well, they were all defense. And as you say, he didn't have a strong running game.
Yeah.
He did not have, I mean, the line kept the passing game from being more dominant,
right,
or more effective. So, I agree with somebody here that said, he needs a professional makeover, but he might need to change the scenery also.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I watched him closely at Ohio State. Seeing his first 3 years when he was really good.
Yeah.
Well, this was his third year, so he played really good his first 2 years. Not as good as second year. He's been trending down, but he had such an excellent rookie season. And I agree with Shannon. I think a change of scenery could do him well. We've seen guys like Shannon brought up Sam Darnold. I'll bring up Baker Mayfield. We've seen guys that have gone different places and got different opportunity and been good again. So,
I was never the biggest Baker Mayfield fan. When he come out, I wrote an article. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. I didn't want the Steelers, if they even had a chance, to ever get him. But he changed my mind. And why I say that is he is so cocksure of himself and his abilities. He was perfect for Cleveland because they put unrealistic expectations, and he led them to the playoffs and he beat the Steelers. If we remember, when he started to go downhill, he was playing with a dislocated, non-throwing shoulder, needed surgery, but he toughed through it. But it affects your throwing mechanics, even though it's the other side. He didn't have full range of motion. He's wearing a harness. It caused him not to have a good season because every year since he's been gone, he's been a quality quarterback. Cleveland pulled the plug too quick, signed Deshaun Watson, Mr. Masseuse himself, to a guaranteed ridiculous contract. They sunk themselves, and they should have stayed with Baker. So I have to give the young man credit. If Baker become available, I would give him a shot.
No, and I agree with Shannon too. I mean, Baker has one of them things you can't look at. You don't reveal itself on tape.
He got moxie.
Moxie, that part. Yeah. He has that in spades. And you can go wrong with a guy like that, but give me a quarterback with that.
You remember Major League 2?
I remember it, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, the kahunas. Yeah.
The kahunas, baby. He got the kahunas.
Yeah, definitely. Me and Green, we talking about that now. I would go after CJ. We talked last show about it. Big G seemed to think it'd take a first and a third this year and a second next year with maybe a conditional fourth. I would do that if that was the scenario. I would do that, because then I still got a second and 2/3 this year and a fourth. I would do that.
I would go after CJ before I bring back Aaron Rodgers. I'll tell you that right now.
I would too. Because at least now I know I'm trying to set something up for the future. And his fifth-year option is $26 million. That's still good going rate for a starting QB.
Oh, that's
you didn't want to give it to Justin Fields. I get that. I seen CJ Stroud take teams to playoffs and win divisions.
Yes.
And he's 24 years old.
Fields hasn't proven, yeah.
Right.
Willis hasn't proved it. Any of the guys they're talking about, Mac Jones, CJ has done it.
Yeah. Claude says CJ is not the guy. There's a reason why Houston wants to get rid of him.
Yeah, but see, I think that's more aesthetics, where he had such a terrible game, and it's like he lost his composure in the playoff games. Now the fans have turned on him. If you listen to their fans, they've turned on him, and a lot of the Steelers could care less what we say. But a lot of organizations do care what the fan base thinks. And the fans have turned on him in Houston.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I certainly agree because we see that happen. I mean, it happens places, right?
Yep.
Fan bases are fanatics. We're rabid. We feel some kind of way. But like what Baker and Sam Darnold have in common, and you tell me every other quarterback that's been in Cleveland and New York, what happened to them? What happened to them?
You know what I mean? Lord, yeah.
We got Mitch Trubisky to the playoffs, Kenny Pickett to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Maybe Rudolph. Everybody that comes to Pittsburgh plays quarterback, they win. C.J. Stroud already been winning.
Yeah.
The fact that he's going from D'Amico Ryan, a defensive coach. I mean, great coach.
But a heavy defensive coach, yes.
Heavy defensive coach, yeah. They probably want to pay Will Anderson because they drafted him the same year back to back. Because they drafted CJ at 2 and traded up to 3 to get Will Anderson.
Yep.
So they got 50-year options on 2 premium positions that you got to pay.
And that's a big reason why they're thinking about shopping him, yes.
Yeah, you damn near got to pay Will Anderson as much as you're going to pay CJ Stroud.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You know, with the edge rushers, what they getting now.
Oh,
he's elite. He's young and elite.
In the 30s, if not 40s.
Easy, yeah. I'm thinking like 37, 38 started out.
I mean, he's a lot younger than TJ. TJ's what, 41? 42?
Yeah, TJ's 41.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd rather give that money to Anderson, in my opinion. But
yeah, so
maybe they want to trade TJ for Anderson.
For who?
For Anderson.
We talking about
TJ Watt, trade him for Anderson.
Oh, yeah, right, Shane. That ain't happening. Unless they have some sort. I thought you said trade CJ for Anderson. That's why I was confused.
No.
TJ. Yeah, unless some sort of sentimental value in it to bring JJ Watt's brother back home. I mean, you play that card, maybe.
Let's push that rumor.
Christine, it might be the only time I disagree with Big G, not emotionally stable enough to see CJ in black and gold. I'd rather see CJ than Aaron Rodgers. And I don't dislike Aaron Rodgers. I like 24 over 43. That's
Lord,
like.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we about to go ahead and take our first break. You watching on YouTube, we're not going anywhere. If you listen on an audio platform, wherever platform you listen to, be it audio, be it Apple, Spotify, Google, Amazon, wherever you're listening, we have to hear a few words from our partners and advertisers, and we'll be right back after this. Stay with us on the Pump Your Break podcast. Myself and Triple G Shannon will be right back after this.
They're here.
Welcome back.
And we're back on the Wednesday night Pump Your Brakes podcast. You got myself, Tate, and our Triple OG Shannon in the building, here to talk Steeler football like we always do every week. Shannon, we're going to specifically talk about the trenches, what the Steelers have on both sides of the defensive and offensive line, what they need, what moves they could make, and just, let's work this thing out. You want to start offense or defense, man?
Let's go defense.
Okay, defense. So right now, I think we had a good draft pick with Derek Harmon. It was a great draft pick. Yeah. Do you think because I heard some talk. I don't know how people just talk to talk. I mean, he's a football player, a very good football player. But some people are saying, I've heard people say, I can't say some people are saying, I've heard it said that he might not be a fit in Patrick Graham's system. I have no reason to believe that. But I've heard that. What do you think about that?
If I was Patrick Graham, I would get him in now, have a sit down. And do you want him to be 340, which he can easily be, or do you want him 300? Because depending on how he's going to use him in his system, it's going to make a difference. Harmon played it too heavy last year.
He did with
his knee injuries, that's not good. He needs to be a little lighter. Now, to me, he's as strong as Hayward, and that's saying something.
Yeah, because
Harmon is
Hayward's
very
still got that grown man strength.
Yeah, he is. Harmon is very stout. And he can be a great run defender who will always be able to collapse the pocket, but he won't finish with sacks because he doesn't have that little bit of burst. If he loses 20 pounds, I think that he'll be able to finish these pass rushes. With some work with Hayward on his pass rush moves and lose like 20 pounds, and I think he could be there. So I think he'll fit either way. But if I was Graham, I would talk to him now and tell him where I want him to come in at.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I mean, do you think if he was to get down to 300, that affects his run stuffing capability at all?
No, because he's that strong. See, I don't want him in nose, but he's getting to be nose tackle size. Late in the year, he was playing, inside a lot. Him and Hayward were playing in pinching on the center, right in front of the guards. And I would like to see him be more of the Cam Hayward in his prime defensive end, to where as he can be a little bit between the guard and the tackle and fill that gap and close in, because he's like Hayward. He's strong, and he can easily carry 310 and still have that little bit of burst. But if he gets up 330, 340, you could tell he's a little softer in the mid, and I think it kills that extra. He was close, but he didn't finish on his pass rush.
Right. No, I agree. So moving along the line, next year, who do we have in the middle? Well, so who we had in the middle was Keanu Benton. We both have thought all last season and still now he played out of position. We think he's a good D lineman as part of a rotation. Potential replacement for Cam Hayward when he retires after next year, but a rotation guy now. So how do we see him fitting? And with him fitting where he should be, what do we do with the nose tackle?
Well, I want to make a statement real quick. I'm more excited about the foundations for the Steelers, which everybody knows to me, foundations is your offensive and defensive line. I'm more excited than I've been in a long, long time. The reason why is they have potential. They have young potential. Some of it unrealized. And they've invested in the offensive and defensive line. And they're close to having, because to me, that is what protects your big money investments behind it. That's what you get that. Then you get the skill position guys. Because you're putting them behind bad lines like you just talked about. What CJ went through, what Herbert went through last year with the Chargers, you get them killed. So you got to have the foundations first. That being said, Benton has a lot of value. Benton can be a very good player, just not on the nose. He cannot play nose. It's not his natural position. You got Wyatt Black, who's a natural nose. He's massive. He can tie multiple blockers. You've got depth in Equale. You've got Logan Lee, who got some playing time as the year went on. He was in there a good bit at the end of the season. And I believe Logan Lee, it could be one of them later round picks that can develop like we've seen Aaron Smith and Brett Kiesel and those guys. And they got that Iamato or Mato or whatever his name was. I can't hear what?
93. That's what I know. 93.
So I'm very excited. If they had another solid piece this year, because it looks like Hayward's going to come back for one more year, I think they could really be set for that defensive line moving forward. But as you say, Benton has to be taken off the nose tackle position.
So, question from Mean Green: is Black or Benton more of a nose guard or a lineman?
Black is all nose tackle.
Now,
see, Black doesn't have burst. He's got everything but speed. He's so massive. He's got long arms. A guy like that can tie up blockers. He can reach and make one-arm tackles. He can be a disruptor in the middle. He's not ever going to be a good pass rusher outside or even from the interior He's more of a collapse the pocket or hold the pocket. So I think Black is a classic 3-4 nose or interior guy, whereas Benton has more of a burst. When Benton gets penetration, he completes sacks a lot.
He does. He's good quickness.
Yeah,
and Black has good bulk. But I will agree one thing Big G said. Black has to work on his pad level. He's too high for the nose.
And now, I thought that improved at times because we know Dunbar was an excellent coach.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he made a real impact. But I think that we see Black later in the year get exploited a little bit for standing too quick, getting too high, and he wasn't effective, and he got frustrated. Now, what happens? A player who has potential will learn their weaknesses, what they need to work on, where their weak spots were during the season. They'll work on it in the offseason, and he'll come back ready this year. I believe he has that kind of work ethic and that kind of character, and I expect him to take a step forward.
I agree with you. I gotta give him a chance. I gotta see what it look like.
Exactly. Yes.
I believe he's talented. I believe with him just watching his own film and seeing what he's doing, listening to a veteran like Cam Hayward, the new defensive back coach, defensive line coach, has professional experience, played the game. The Domata Peko. So who knows what he'll do with him as far as technique.
He was a decent pro.
He was.
And he did it through hard work. And hopefully he can pass it along. He might help Black more than anybody.
I'd like to see that. You mentioned you think Equale will be back?
I think that because of the injury and I think his cost will probably still be low, and it will depend on what the Steelers are able to do in the draft, or what they're targeting in the draft, but he will still fit the scheme. I think he fits Graham's scheme as well, because he had a little bit of burst and a little bit of penetration for the Patriots when he was with him. So I would like to see him return and be quality depth.
Yeah, he just turned 32 last month.
Yeah, so he's not at that age. He's not going to command big money.
Right. Okay, I can see that. You mentioned Logan Lee. You like the upside of Logan Lee?
Yeah, he's a very good athlete. I mean, he was undersized coming out of college. He played at Iowa, and he got by with a lot of athleticism and all, but he needed to be more of an interior defensive tackle in the NFL level. And I think that he's a guy kind of like Brett Kiesel's going to need a couple years, but we've seen him because his first year was kind of cut short, and we've seen him get a lot of playing time. And I watched him, and he held his own. And, and late in the year, they played some big games and playoffs. So I think it was a great experience for him. And again, I love from what I've heard about his character and his work ethic, I expect him to continue to progress.
Yeah. Okay. So the old veteran, we think Cam Hayward's coming back, and Logan Lee will be 26 when camp starts. 6'5", 285. I mean,
yeah, but he needs to be around 3.
Yeah, he needs to. Yeah,
he had to gain some weight, muscle,
because there's a difference in a defensive end in the 4-3, which that's that size he is right now.
Yeah, versus
you got to pack a little bit more weight, get to that 300, then you matching Harmon on the other side. 6'5". If he gets down to 300, like you're saying,
maybe they could trade a little weight. Harmon, here, take a little bit of this.
You take this 20, and
exactly.
Get it off me. You need it. You take it.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Cam Hayward coming back for what probably could be his final season?
No, he was still very good last year.
All pro.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of injuries. It's at that age it can happen at any moment, but it didn't happen yet. didn't happen last year. I thought he was effective. And again, I think Harmon can benefit from him. Black can benefit. They can all benefit from being around Hayward because Hayward knows how to play in the NFL. He knew when he was more athletic. Now he knows when he relies more on his strength and he's savvy, which he does now. He depending on what the guy's talents are, he can be an influence, a positive influence, and he knows the culture. You eventually you're going to run out of guys that played with guys who won Super Bowls. So people don't realize that that hurts your culture because, Art's never won anything as an owner. Now the head coach has never won anything as a Steeler. None of the coaching staff has won anything as a Steeler. None of the players have even won a playoff game. So, but they at least, they were around some guys who had won Super Bowls, especially Hayward. But he's one of the holdovers. So he needs to pass along as much of the culture as he can.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you. So Mark Malone and Rob talking about Wagner. Who the Wagner we talking about? Who is that?
Well, that's Mike Wagner. He played with the Steel Curtain teams. He was safety.
Oh yeah, I remember that. No. I know. Okay, I thought you were talking about somebody on the current D line that I was missing. Okay, I know Mike Wagner.
Yeah, he was. I don't know how old he was. I hadn't heard about it today, but everybody's talking about it.
What happened? He passed away or something?
Yeah, I guess he passed away. I have not seen it.
Oh, I didn't. I hadn't heard about it either.
I've been out all day, and I ain't been home that long.
Okay. No, but man, I'm not okay. We'll talk about that when I can confirm. I don't just want to put nothing out there that I'm not sure of.
Yeah,
but yeah, man. So, is there any other defensive lineman that we missed that we want to address? I mean, I like what you said about Harmon. I think he could stand and lose 15 to 20 pounds. Even don't get down to 300.
If he can turn some of
that into 315.
Yeah, if he can turn some of that into muscle.
Yeah.
His weight might not even change a lot, but the way he's built. I used to talk about Okafor, not Okafor. Who's the left tackle that went to Tennessee? I couldn't stand him.
Moore. Damn Moore.
Moore, yes. Moore, if you ever looked at him, he looked like a guy that used to be a lot heavier and he lost a good bit of weight because he had like fatty back of his arms. He had like the turkey gizzard back of his arms. He had some hanging fat.
Right.
That I think if he would have really put in a lot of work in the weight room and really pounded out and built himself, he would have lost that. You can call it baby fat, whatever you want to call it. But to me, the guys who put in that hard work to build their bodies, like you look at Mike Webster, just for a perfect example of a walking muscle. There's guys that just have different physiques, but you can tell if a guy, gains a good bit of weight in the offseason, then loses it real fast. Because a lot of times they look a little flabby, extra flabby in places. And I thought Harmon had a really tough year, guys. I mean, he lost his mama on draft night.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had to go through all that. Now, the Steeler organization took him in and was there for him, and we all love him. And so, but he went through a lot. This might be the first offseason where he could really focus on not trying to rebuild his life, but just on the craft. So I expect to see
all about football.
Yeah, I think he'll come back and he'll look different.
Okay. I think Benton is a talent. We talked about him. I think he's a talent that we kind of underappreciate because he is playing out of position.
Yeah.
I think you him as part of a rotation with for this year anyway, with Cam, with Harmon, with number 93 and him going in at the ends. I think as of right now, I look at it got to be Quale or Black at the D line. I mean, nose tackle, D tackle. And maybe you draft a guy who's in the second or third round who can contribute right away.
Yeah, if the right guy falls, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because they got multiple picks. So
yeah. So I like it. I think they'll draft a D lineman anyway. It just matter when they draft him in this position, like in the third, say they got 3 picks. They got 5 picks in the top 100, right?
yeah.
So if they draft a D lineman out the top 100, that guy should be able to contribute next year. Maybe not start like Harmon did, but contribute, right?
Well, somebody was just talking about Loudermilk. Now, I have not mentioned Loudermilk because he's a free agent, I think.
Yeah, I think he's gone. I don't think he's
and I want him gone.
That's the dude.
I would bring back Odomayo. Yeah, I'd bring back Odomayo or me or however you say it. I'd bring him back in a heartbeat over Loudermilk.
Yeah, I like that. Thanks, Somber. Christine Tate, I like Ben. He is just, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, he's in the wrong position. Yes.
150% right. You know?
But we've been saying it for 2 years. They're stubborn. Yeah. Listen, when they got something in their head, they can care less if the whole world sees they're wrong. They keep doing it. I mean, we got Moore playing left tackle. You know, that was a disaster.
And you drafted Broderick Jones in the first round to be your left tackle.
And then you put him
in
right
there. You didn't play him there the first 2 years.
Yeah,
right?
Then you got Patrick Queen, who tried to dot in Baltimore, doesn't work. They tried on him in Pittsburgh. It just don't work. It stunts him. He's not as aggressive and effective. Some guys don't need that added responsibility. He's one of them. Why make it so hard? With the casual novice fan sitting at home can see this and like, well, I've seen him play a lot better than this. I mean, but they were so stubborn about things.
Right.
And now I'm sure that this new staff will be stubborn about something too. And it'll take me a while to figure out what it is, but I'm sure they'll frustrate us. But at least it'll be something different.
Yeah, I mean, staff's gonna staff, right? I mean, it's
exactly.
But the biggest thing I like that I heard about Patrick Graham is that he develops his schemes around his player and not trying to fit his players into schemes. So
does the offense.
I'm excited to see what that look like.
So does the offensive staff. They're one thing about it. McCarthy has surrounded himself with guys who build a scheme to their talent, not the other way around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So I like that. I'm excited about the upcoming season. We're about to go to our second break. We'll come back. We'll go over the offensive line. If you're watching on YouTube, stay with us. We're not going anywhere. Thanks for tapping in to Pump Your Brakes. And we'll be right back after this on the Pump Your Brakes podcast. Taking a quick break.
They're here.
Welcome back.
And we're back on the Pump Your Brakes podcast. We just stopped them on the 3 and out. They punting the ball. Now we're getting the ball back, and we're going to offense. Shannon and I are going to talk about the offensive line. A real quick recapitulation of this past season. I think we've identified a lot of the guys going from right to left. We got Troy Fautanu, who looked good for essentially what was his rookie season at tackle. He looked really good throughout most of the season. I like how he played this year. Again, his first year playing a full season. He might have played 2 games in his rookie year. Remember, he got to start against Denver at right tackle for Broderick Jones that game. Then he was hurt shortly after that. We got Mason McCormick, who I think is a hit for a 4th-round pick in his second year.
Definitely.
I think he probably has, with starting all last year, probably about 25 starts under his belt. He should only get better. He's a young guy, he's a road raider. I like what I see in him. We got Shannon's boy, I believe is a top 3 center in the NFL right now, Zach Frazier, out of the University of West Virginia Mountaineers. He's the captain of that line, the leader. Really, really smart guy. Left guard, we had Siamalu. This will be one of the questions we answer as we go down the line. We talk about it. Will he be back, and what's the potential fix at left guard? At right tackle, we drafted Broderick Jones in the first round in 2023. and he hasn't worked so far. Combination of playing out of position his first 2 years. Last year was his first year playing the position he was first drafted to play, and he got hurt about halfway through the season. We have to see what that looks like because Steelers have to make a decision by May 1 on his fifth-year option, which I believe is about $20 million a year. Well, Dan Moore went to Tennessee, got $20 million a year. So do the Steelers pick that up? We can talk about that in just a second. We got our guy, what's the guy's name? The tackle?
Dylan Cook.
Dylan Cook. I'm about to call him Cooper. Yeah. Dylan Cook came in later in the year, looked really good, replacing Broderick Jones after a number of veterans went down, who I don't think will be back. Petit and another guy. I think if you're gonna go, you go young. We still got Spencer Anderson as a guard. We got McCollum was the backup center, probably could play some interior. Like I said, we have Petit and another veteran that we had that I don't think was on the practice squad. But Shannon, the O-line, let's start from right and work our way left because I think we're more certain about what's going from right tackle to center. We're more certain about that, right? So
I want to bring up one thing first. We talked about it when we got to this part. They released some numbers on the left tackle, right tackle pressure rate.
Mm-hmm.
Meaning, how often did they give up pressure? And it's funny looking at the list here. I said all year I thought the Steelers had a top 10 offensive line. It's been a long time since I can say that. And the statistics all point that they did have a top 10 unit, even with some of the injuries and struggles.
And the first 6 games they really didn't play well.
They didn't, and also the lack of weapons. They struggled to get the ball out quick because guys wasn't getting open. So there's a lot of factors. It ain't just block win rate, but that's what they're going here. They're talking about how often do they give up pressure. The Steelers tandem of Broderick Jones and Fautanu come in number 7 last year.
That's great. That's graded with Broderick Jones and Fautanu?
Yes.
Wow.
At 4.73. Now, the best in the league by far was the New York Giants at 2.95. And they did not have a good team. But, again, that just goes to show you. It wasn't on the line, or it wasn't on the tackles at least. Let's put it that way.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But most of the teams that had a decent line had a pretty good record. And the Steelers were 7th. But here's the funny thing. Fautanu was 3.8 something. So Broderick brought it
down.
They brought it up. As
okay.
far as he made it rise because he gave up pressure quite a bit.
Right. So made it rise. Drop the grade.
Exactly. When Dylan Cook came in, Dylan Cook was 3 point. I seen it on here. Hold on. Dylan Cook. If I can find it again. Anyway, he was 3 something. He was grade was better than Fautanu's. So what I'm saying is they got to think long and hard about Broderick Jones. Because that was his first year playing what should have been his natural position. And he still struggled. Whereas Cook come in and Cook and Fautanu was a much better tandem. Because their rating would have been like top 3. Because it was 3 something with them two doing it. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to point out that you got a guy that was basically undrafted, that was a quarterback when he got to college, and he transferred to, I think he was tight end first, and then he went to the offensive line. So that's why he went undrafted. But he has a lot. Cook has a lot of potential because he's got sweet feet. And he just needs to build a little more power because the guys, you see him battle him, even in the playoff game, some of the sacks wasn't his fault. One time he took, I can't remember if it was Anderson or who down, and Rodgers tripped over. So, it wasn't his fault,
Yeah, no. I agree, and I like Cook. I mean, so let's go right to left. We'll get to them again when you told the grades. We'll get to them
Yeah.
when we get to that side. Fautano, real quick. What do you think about him, Shannon?
I think his trajectory just went up since he started to be able to play. You know, he missed his rookie year basically. The problem was in that playoff game, he got abused.
Yeah.
He had like the worst grade of all the offensive linemen against the Texans. Now understand, the Texans have two dominant, physically dominant edge guys. Yes. But I've never seen Fautanu struggle. I really hadn't. I mean, I'm talking in college. And he was the Steelers' arguably best lineman as a rookie, and then he got hurt. So last year, it did not shock me how good he is. But I'm concerned eventually he may have to move inside because he doesn't have the longest arms, you know, prototypical for a tackle. Whereas I think he, with his athleticism, mobility, feet, footwork, he can play guard and be an all-pro guard. So wherever they use him, he's going to be a top-notch guy. But I think this year it'll be right tackle, yes. But he needs it. He needs the next game to get that bad taste and that bad memory out of his mind, because he played really bad against the Texans.
So I agree with what you said. I mean, but they played in the league. And I said this from the combine 2 years ago when he was there, and he dropped to 14. Arguably, he was probably the second best tackle in that draft. There were injury concerns though.
But he had the best feet of anybody.
Yeah, his tech and his feet at the combine were clearly the best. You had to study film. You could just watch them do their drills and see how immaculate his footwork and his technique was.
His back pedal, you know, on some of them, he looked like a cornerback.
Yeah,
his footwork looked like a corner. It didn't look like an offensive lineman. He's so light on his feet.
Yeah, no, definitely. And so I think I could see him moving to guard. Not next year, like you said. I think he plays tackle, but ideally, maybe you get another tackle. There's a lot of talk. I hear people talk about the I don't know if he'll be there, Vega, the guard from Penn State. And I agree with addressing the line somewhere down the line. Do I want to spend another first-round pick unless it's the best available, all the top 4 receivers off the board, the top 2 corners off the board? Do I want to address O-line again with 2 of my top 2 the past few years, 2 first-round picks at tackle, 1 second-round pick at guard, 4th-round pick in McCormick? I mean, do I want to? I mean, we've been deprived of a wide receiver, really legit wide receiver on the side for years now.
Yeah,
you know, since Deontay Johnson was going. I'm not saying reach for a wide receiver. I've identified the top 4, like many other people, as being Tate from Ohio State, Tyson from Arizona State, Lemon from USC, and Boston from Washington.
Yeah.
If you can sit at 21 and get any one of those 4, some of them you won't get, but so I'd say if you can get Tyson or Boston, I take that guy. I take one of the top 4 receivers, one of the top 2 corners. Then if they're not there, those 6 players aren't there, then I'm looking at maybe offensive line or defensive line, you know. But
so after receiver, you're looking at corner.
Corner, yeah, because I'm not spending a first on safety unless it's Caleb Downs, and he won't be there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, safety, I think you could get. I don't think the top guy, as you say, will be there, but you could probably get him in the second. Good Lord,
right?
Will.
And that's what I'm hoping and thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I think that, you know, what I would love to see happen, and I don't remember the last time this has happened. The Steelers have youth on the offensive line everywhere but Seumalo at left guard. If they can pick up another developmental guy at guard that they can add to this line, you could see the Steelers build a juggernaut. Because trust me, Frazier is an all-pro. Fautanu's an all-pro level. McCormick, it can be a Pro Bowl guy.
Yeah.
I think Cook has untapped potential. That left guard you need to upgrade. Because then you have, as you say, Spencer Anderson, you have McCollum, you have some quality depth, versatile depth. But I think that they have to, if they're going to address anything, they got to address the guard position in this draft.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm just my willingness to do it in the first round, unless one of the top 4 receivers, all the top 4 receivers are going, the top 2 corners are going. Then I look at who's better, the offensive lineman available. Is it the guy from Penn State, or is it a defensive lineman like the kid from Ohio State, McDonald?
Yeah. Again,
I mean, yeah, but it's going to be a big boy if I can't get one of the 4 top receivers or 2 top corners.
Exactly.
It's going to be a big human.
You had McDonald to this depth that we just talked about.
Yeah.
Holy crap! That's what I'm saying. The foundations are close. It's like razor thin. They're close, and I'd like to see that because this is a deep receiver class again. From 5 to 15, they've all got maybe a little weakness, but they're all pretty similar grades.
They're all better than everybody on our roster except DK Metcalf.
Exactly.
All those guys.
I mean, really, I agree with that. Now, again, I don't know what Roman Wilson can be. I heard some rumors, some stories today about him, about his professionalism.
Do tell. What'd you hear?
Well, they said that he frustrated Rodgers and the coaching staff because of his they didn't think he took it serious enough, the professionalism, all that. So that'll do it. I mean, if the team don't think you're putting in the work and you're not taking it serious enough, I mean, it could be he's frustrated because he knew, Rodgers likes the vets. That's why I'd like to see a young guy who can work and grow with another young guy. I don't want to see the Rodgers thing. I'm afraid we're going to, but I really don't want to. But I agree with you. But this offensive line, and I know that's our main topic tonight, but that offensive line is close. Yeah, it's really close. Now,
well, that's how Andy Wild helped build the Eagles.
Yes, on both sides of the line. Exactly.
Yeah.
Big boys. But I'm Broderick Jones. I just don't see how you can pick up the 5th-year option. Even if he comes out and has a really good year, you lose him.
That's just it. You gotta make that decision before May 1st.
I know, and I couldn't do it right now because he hasn't shown me nothing. I would make him come back, compete with Cook, and see, and then I would go into the season, and if it was close at all, I'd try to trade him.
I could see that. I would disagree with that. Christine, shout out. Thanks for tapping in again. You've been with us all night. Appreciate it. Remedial Jones, 20 million. If we paid him that, her head would explode. I mean, but again, I go back to his attributes, his talent. He hasn't played well. His technique is not good. Maybe a coaching change helps that. I think it has to be I think there will be some type of stubbornness involved because he was Omar Khan's been actually GM. This was his first pick of the Steelers era of him running things was Broderick Jones. Yeah. I think when you look at Dan Moore left being big trash last year, he left and got $20 million. $20 million is going weight. The highest paid tackle in the league is Rashawn Slater for the Chargers. He was hurt last year. Gets paid almost $29 million a year. So $20 million is not market rate, but that's what the 5th-year option is for a tackle, right? And if you got Cook there to compete with him, you're only paying Cook like $1.5 million. So if you average it out, you're gonna pay roughly $21 million for whoever's your starting tackle. But I agree with Shannon too. You let him play, but then you could price yourself out that fee. You could have to pay him. You could have to bid war against him because you won't keep his rights for that 5th year. Yeah. So you could say I try and trade him. You can't trade him because you don't got his rights because you didn't pick up the 5th-year option.
I would myself would rather not pick up the 5th year. And then if he proves me wrong and he goes out and he becomes a Pro Bowl left tackle, give him 30.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
I mean,
yeah.
you're not going to have it in the quarterback. I think they need to move on from TJ. Hayward's going to be coming off the books.
Yeah.
Queen
And
potentially.
and
So
next year Ramsey could come off.
Ramsey will come off. I mean, so I'm just saying, it ain't worth the
I
risk
like that.
to give him that 5th year right now.
I like that. I'm curious to see what they do in another 2 months. I'm curious to see what they're gonna do because I can see it happen either way. I like the way you broke it down. So next year we go into that with Broderick Jones and Cook competing, and Broderick Jones playing for a Steeler career, basically.
Exactly.
And with Jones' upside, whether he's future going forward, he's still a 6 tackle. The the 6 tackle is the swing tackle.
Yeah, and he can play both sides.
Right.
See, Moore couldn't even do that.
Right.
So I was shocked that they threw $20 million at him, but they did.
Yeah, and I didn't understand sacrificing your first round pick to let Moore play. Well, Moore, you the 4th round pick. You got to make it happen, or we're gonna cut you.
Yeah.
So I think, like you talked about the poor decision making when Keanu Ben was out of position and the stubbornness.
Yeah.
I think Broderick Jones was wasted for 2 years with that. Last year was his first year at left tackle and he only played 8 games. So we really don't know what it looks like at left tackle good yet, but we'll see because we don't know if he comes back from neck. That's the biggest part of it to me too is he's coming back from injury. How's that look? You can't commit $20 million to a guy you don't know what his injury looks like.
Well, you know, the Steelers for a while signed guys, drafted guys that didn't fit the scheme. Like when they did Hargraves. Hargraves, yeah, he was great, but he's a 4-3 guy. And they tried to put him in a 3-4, and he was decent, but he exploded when he went to a 4-3.
Yeah.
They draft Broderick Jones. They draft McCormick to do outside zone. Now, Jones made sense because he had, the athleticism. Yeah. McCormick struggled with that as a rookie. Because, again, they're just they're taking pieces and putting them in the pile, and it's telling the offensive line coach, who wasn't great, he wasn't bad, but he wasn't Munchak. They throw all these pieces in and say, make it work. It don't work like that. I hope this staff has more sense, and they will draft guys that fit what they're wanting to do. I know they're flexible, but you can't have 3 guys on the offensive line that do good outside zone and 2 guys that are power trap guys. You see what I'm saying? You got to have some consistency.
That's what I want to ask you because I'm not certain of it. So I know Arthur Smith was big in his zone block running scheme. What does Mike McCarthy really do? Like in Dallas with his running game, how does he want to run the ball?
Well, I've seen him do power zone or power trap when he was with Green Bay, and in Dallas he liked to do the zone because remember they had Pollard. And they had those, they had a really good offensive line there at first when he got to Dallas. And then they kind of aged out and everything. But I've seen him do both. That's one thing I was saying earlier is these coaches have shown that kind of flexibility. But, I mean, for this season, this draft, this free agency class, they got to look at what they have on hand, the talent, and then decide what pieces they need to add to make it, to do what they want to do. In the past years, they just took what they could get, the best available at that position, and then throw them in there and tried to make it work. That's not how you do it.
Right. I agree. Somber says, much as I hate on Broad, he was good. He was trending good before his injury. Don't take that as me wanting him on the team, LOL. Just putting facts in there. And I can agree with that. I mean, he wasn't playing well early. He never played well on the right side. Maybe he was starting to get his footing as it went on. I don't know. But, yeah, I'm kind of siding with Shannon now. Go ahead and bring him back. Don't give him the 4th-year option. Bring him back. Let him compete. If he balls out, then you pay him. You got, you pay him.
My problem with Broderick is when the initial part of the play doesn't go in his favor. Right off the snap, you can win leverage. You can lose it. Lose the edge, whatever it may be, he quits. And he I remember last year in a game, Fontano got beat off the snap. and it looked like a for sure sack. And he engaged him halfway around the circle and pushed him all the way around and behind Rodgers. Kept going because he didn't give up on the play. Broderick, that would have been a sack, and he'd have went over and helped Rodgers off the ground. You can't quit on a play.
Right.
If it ain't your guy, block somebody.
Well, certain coaches demand that. I mean, so you convinced me, Shannon. I'm gonna go over to your train of thought on Broderick Jones and whether they give him the 5th-year option or not. I'd like to see him just compete. Now, I do think they address guard. I don't know. Again, I'm not sure saying that's in the first round, but it's a deep guard class too. I think you get a really good guard in the 3rd round.
And you
kid
don't
from
pick a guard
Iowa.
usually unless it's in the late 20s in the first.
Yeah.
I mean,
I agree.
they're just not, the value ain't there.
The value not there. Yeah, we got the unless it's elite of the elite, right? And maybe you even trade back a few spots if you see a guard, identify a guard you want. Trade back a few spots and then get your guard.
They need more picks next year. So use these extra picks this year to move around, trade back, get some for next year. I mean, I think Khan and Khan and Waddle can do that. I think they've got that modern day philosophy.
Yeah. No, I agree. So we both agree that both sides of the ball, the trenches are trending up. Will we agree on that?
Oh, definitely. Big time.
Will we agree that with Zach Frazier and Troy Fautanu on the offensive side, with Harmon, Benton, and potentially Y.A. Black, we have foundational pieces as we go forward the next 5 years?
Definitely.
Okay. So really,
I'm convinced on those guys. I really am.
Okay. I know I am too. And I mean, I could have threw McCormick in there too.
I like McCormick. He did better in the zone last year than I thought he was ever capable. Because I didn't think he could move well enough. But the thing is, he's steady. And I wish he had a little extra step. Maybe he could get a little burst this offseason, just a little bit more. Because a lot of times the running back has to slow down and wait for him to engage on the outside zone. And then they get hit from behind. Because Warren's really good, so was Gainwell on those outer runs. But when they went to the right, they had to wait on him because it took him a little bit longer.
Now, but I will say what he lacks in that burst and athleticism, he makes up for in everything you said Broderick Jones didn't do.
Yes.
He's going to go to the whistle.
Yep.
He's going to be aggressive. He's going to make mistakes with some aggression.
Yeah, he makes mistakes with bad intentions.
Yeah, exactly.
Him and Frazier had bad intentions every block.
Right.
And I love that. That's how you play the position. Mike Webster, if he, God rest his soul, if he was still alive, he'd say, those are my kind of guys.
Right. No, I agree. So we got some financial pieces. I think Khan and Wild have done a good job building the trenches. I wouldn't be mad if the 6 players, if those 4 receivers, 2 cornerbacks are gone. If you went O-line with a really talent-worthy guy, but if you, like I said, me and Shan just said you could trade back and still get that guy. Now, would I take a D lineman too, like K. McDonald or the kid out of Texas? Is his name Hunter? I like both those guys just because you can never add too many pieces of that D line either, especially with Cam Hayward leaving next year. Now you'd have Harmon, Benton, Black, and a new guy. I mean, you really are set at O-line for the next 4 or 5 years. D-line, for the next 4 or 5 years. The same thing with the O-line. One piece away, you get that guard. However you get him, you're looking good there. So
if you have positions with solid depth, like offensive, defensive line, it gives you flexibility to make moves and to manipulate your cap. Because you have a young guy ready to load, ready to put in there, and you're not as desperate. Because right now the skill position guys are all so expensive you need to have that capital or have the salary cap room to acquire them. And because you see the trying to trade for them the last few years, the wide receivers, it just hasn't panned out.
Or they haven't been aggressive enough to go get them. The plan hasn't panned out, yes. But
I don't think they wanted to give up enough to get them because they didn't have the quarterback to use them.
Right. That part too.
Yeah.
I do think the opposite of what you said. I do think because the receivers are so expensive, you get some cost control guys by drafting some rookies, some really good rookies, and you have them under cost control for the next few years while you're not paying a quarterback big money yet.
Oh, yeah. And then you have even more money to put in free agency to fill spots.
Right.
And that's a quick way to get good.
Yeah.
And the Steelers might have to try to do that at quarterback at some point.
So you brought up the very first thing, Shannon, we got on here, and we're going to leave with this. I know you be on the fence about stuff. I'm going to ask you this question. Steelers over under 8.5 wins next season.
I am going I am going to go on a limb. And because again, I think they're going to bring back Rodgers, and I believe we're going to have another mediocre 9-win season, 9 to 10. Because if they don't do anything to change the TJ Watt situation, they're still going to have talent. And I think they'll pick up some receivers that they desperately need in the draft and maybe in free agency. I think they can have a better offense. I think that McCarthy will have a little bit of that Bill Cowher rookie coaching year in Pittsburgh success. And I think that they will end up also having all the additional coaches to take care of the little minuscule details and analytics and all that stuff. And I think that they have a chance, even though they're going to have a tough schedule, being a first place schedule. I think they'll win about 9 games right now before the draft, free agency, anything. Yeah.
Okay. Somber says the other options that we can't get McDonald. There are plenty of options. Corleone, he's Cincinnati. Orange, I like Orange. He's Iowa State. I've took him in some mocks that I've done. Jackson from Florida State, I like him a lot too. But yeah, I mean, D-line. I mean, you need one more O-line piece to complete it for me for next year, and you need another D-lineman. So if we draft,
and all these guys could be around 4th round, a lot of it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah,
definitely third. You got three picks. You can maybe use that one of those last 2/3 to get a guy that could maybe contribute but not be a starter. Not a lot of expectations on him.
Yeah,
but Pickens says under 9.5. Okay, no, I think it's over too, man. I think they're just good enough not to be bad. They're just good enough to pick at 21 again,
like they have been for a while.
Right. But we'll be better on offense, and who knows? I mean, depending on what we will know a lot more as we go into the draft because free agency will be over with, and when we come out the draft is in Pittsburgh, we'll know a lot more. And we should hear sometime in the next 2-3 weeks here. I imagine what Aaron Rodgers is legitimately going to do. I'd like to see the Steelers, and I liked Aaron Rodgers and what he brought this year. I mean, he wasn't as bad as I was hearing he was in Green Bay and the Jets and stuff like that, or the Steel organization just didn't let it go. I like Aaron Rodgers now, but I just don't want to see like when Brady came back, Tampa Bay was going for the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we understand that. We're not going for no Super Bowl next year. We hope to make a playoff game and win one. Is a good season next year.
Season. If they can do that, yes. Especially if they go younger.
Yeah.
I mean, again, even if they bring Rodgers back, if they win one playoff game and they get killed, I think they just delayed the inevitable. I want to see this young nucleus grow. See, the big unknown, but even besides the draft this year and the free agency, is they've got a lot of first and second year starters. Yeah. If they take that natural step in progression, especially with better talent around them and maybe more attention, detailed coaching, we don't know what can happen.
Yeah. No. So shout out Steeler fan. Thanks for tapping in. Mr. Wissy, last comment so far. We're gonna get out of here. Rodgers wants to miss OTAs if a team plays his tune, he'll sign with them. Well, we worry about them being us. I mean, he don't have to go to OTAs, but he needs to commit so we know what direction we going in.
Exactly.
That part.
Yeah.
You don't have to come to OTAs. I trust you.
Show up at training camp.
Yeah. I trust you, Mike McCarthy system, whatever it is. You're a smart guy. We know you're gonna work hard. We know you're gonna all that stuff. So I'm okay with that. But you gotta tell what you're gonna do.
Hawaii or Cancun and have practice down there, and they go hang out on the beach. I mean, we don't give a crap.
Right, that part. With that being said, everybody, we about to Bigfoot Bob is doing my schedule release prediction last year, Shannon.
Have you been giving him some of that purple drink?
Yeah, man. Here, take a drink out my Steeler cup, man. Mine's not a red cup. It's a Steelers thermal. So
that's right.
What I got in it might be that juice to make us say 14-3. But that being said, man, me and the Triple G Shannon about to get out of here for another Wednesday night of Pump Your Brakes. I'm about to jump on over here in about 15, 20 minutes onto the Coast to Coast podcast with me and my girl Dev. Woo, it's a busy Wednesday for me. This is my fourth time doing the show today. This will be my fourth time doing the show today. And we're going to talk some more Steeler talk. So if you want to tap into that, tap in. Always love getting her perspective, hear how she was at the NBA All-Star game. She works for the Clippers out there, and they hosted the All-Star game this year. So we'll talk to her about how that was, and we'll get into our Steeler talk and whatever other questions come around. So with that being said, for myself and Trip OG, you know how we end it here. Shannon, go ahead and get us out of here, man. And we out.